Recording in progress.
Hi, this is John Bile, and this session is going to focus on physical education and cross-curricular expectations. So I'm also with Go for Sport, and I'm going to go to share my screen here, and there we go, and start slideshow. Here we go. So what do you expect is physical education and cross-curricular ideas. Before we begin the slideshow, let me just remind you that every Tuesday and Thursday I post on Twitter and Instagram. So if you'd like to subscribe and get just an idea to enhance your program, you can just go on Twitter or Instagram, subscribe at Canada Go for Sport. You'll find me there. So what are we doing anyways? So I know many of you will be great phys ed teachers, and we'll be looking at the curricular expectations from your government. And I think that's a worthy thing to do. At the same time, there are times when we can also fulfill cross-curricular expectations through physical education. And so that's what we're going to try to focus on during this the next 50 minutes. Try to go through, I don't know, about 50 or 60 different activities to give you lots of ideas to think about. Recently, I was at a presentation where they shared this information that pre-COVID, 15%. So, one or two people out of 100. Two people out of 30 that are 5 to 17 years old are getting 24-hour movement. So not very much. But during COVID, this is much less. So elementary school children, 1 out of 20 is getting enough activity, and 1 out of 100 teenagers are getting enough activity. 62% of kids and teens are less physically active outdoors, and 80% of kids and teens are more leisure time on screens than being physically active. And that's sad, because certainly outdoors is a great place to be, also COVID safe. So just some concerns to think through. Let's try to help our students to exert themselves. Probably typically at the 3 to 4 level, we're exerting ourselves, but we can still kind of keep chatting. Maybe sometimes working a little harder so that we can't really talk. I'm on a cancer journey, and so my lungs are quite compromised, and because they had filled up with blood clots. But this is just a little example of one of my runs, pretty slow pace at 8:28 per kilometer. But you can just kind of see my activity, and most of the time when I was doing this run, I was in the 150 to 167 heart rate. And it's maybe a good reminder that the key isn't so much the time as it is the heart rate. So some people, like myself, there was times when I was running marathons, and then I would be running 5K in probably about 5-minute pace. That was great. I'm not as healthy now with compromised lungs, so I run a little slower. But the main point isn't so much the time as it is to be working out at an appropriate threshold. And then there's another concern here in terms from cause that girls especially are in jeopardy through COVID. That 1 in 4 Canadian girls who used to participate at least once a week are not going to come back. So we're going to lose a lot of girls during the pandemic. So some suggestions about when we're teaching physical education, obviously develop around a current curriculum. Having cheerleaders and encouragers. I know sometimes we may have we're doing a HIT program, and maybe for 20 seconds, one person does an activity and then takes a 20-second break. But that might be a time to partner up so that while one person is exercising, the other person is taking a break and cheering their partner on. And then after the 20 seconds is over, the cheerleader becomes the workout person, and the other person becomes the cheerleader. Sometimes using video is something like Coach's Eye is helpful. I've seen this done even at the grade 2 level, where partners are videoing each other and pointing out the ways that the other partner can improve their skills. And the other thing is, on odd days, emphasizing one side of the body, and even days emphasizing the other. So even days maybe emphasize the right side, and then odd days maybe develop the left side. So that we're developing the whole person. And I think odd even days would be a good way to remember it. So let's begin with some of the activities. I think dance is something that we can all do. I've actually done some sessions where I've led dance, which is pretty surprising because I'm not really a dancer. But there's different ways to do this. One way is to, like Sierra Ontario, develop this resource called Everybody Move. And basically there's a leader or leaders who lead the dance, and everybody follows and does exactly the same activity. So Don't Sit Still is accessible online. That's one activity that you might want to try. So let me just do that here for a second.
Don't sit still, body moving crew in the house. Get ready to strap the sauce. Let's get spicy.
And whoa, I'm not sure what happened there.
Snorkel. Sometimes swim. Your body cue is swim. Move in different directions.
So sorry about that. So the thing with the Everybody Move resource is that you could have teachers leading it, or you could have students develop their leadership skills by giving them like the DVD with the dance on it. They can learn it, and they can go from class to class to demonstrate it and have the students engage in dance. The more free-flowing dance experience is through groove education. If you've seen Amy or Michelle do these, they're well worth it to attend these. So just do a little demo here with Michelle swimming.
Show me different strokes with your arms. Don't just do forward. Don't just do front crawl, back crawl, breaststroke, doggy paddle. Yeah.
So you can see how that works, and you could really do any activity with any music. You could connect it to a story that you're reading in your literature class. Of animals moving about, crossing bridges, jumping off the bridge, swimming, and so on. And students could be mimicking the story as part of their dance. Just as Fair and Square is a resource produced about a year ago through Sierra Ontario, and it's a little activity called Secret Dancers. So you have two dancers, one detective. The detective leaves the room. The group decides who the dancers are. You turn on some music. One dancer is leading the activity, is leading the dance. The detective needs to come in and determine who the leaders are. And every 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds, one of the dancers should do a different movement. And again, the detective is trying to figure out who that is. Let me just add too at this moment that the slideshow, the PowerPoint slideshow is on my website. So if you want to go through the whole PowerPoint afterwards, you can go www.canadago4sport.com, and you can find, and then go to workshops, and you can find the entire PowerPoint there. So this is a copy of the daily physical activity resource, Everybody Move. Another thing that they have done too is just to have students, players develop a dance, one dance step to 8 beats, then pair up with another player, and they would do one player's dance for 8 beats, and then the other player's dance for 8 beats. Now we've got 16 beats of music, then pair up with another 2 people, and we've got, what is it, 24, 32 beats of music that we can that the students are busy with. This past fall too, a month or so ago, I was at a session with Dance Play, and they developed this sort of free-flowing dance as well. So you play music with a nice strong beat to it, and they would be mimicking bouncing a basketball, either through big movements or small movements. Fast feet, so moving their feet right to left, forward, backward, but getting a pattern going. Shuffling 4 beats, jumping 4 beats, jumping for 32 beats, hopping on the right side 16 times, hopping on the left side 16 times. So again, you can develop a whole routine that students could do like in their classrooms, or you could do it in the gym and develop the dance component. For this play resources, I think you should be able to scan this code and get some free access to a number of videos and activities. Recently, I also went to a workshop at the National Ballet School, and they again just introduced some really interesting, simple ways of doing it. So they said, let's pick 4 body parts. Well, let's pick 1 for starters. So pick 1 body part and move it to an 8 beat of music. Then pick a second body part and move it to 8 beats of music. Or you could quicken it and go just to 4 beats of music. Anyways, do the 4 body parts and to 8 beats of music, and we got 32 beats, and then we would repeat those 32 beats, and we'd have a whole dance activity. And then they recommended also patterning with your feet, doing like an open, closed, crossed pattern, and then having some kind of so 8 beats of open, 8 beats of open, 8 beats of closed, 8 beats of closed, 8 beats crossed, 8 beats crossed, 8 beats open, 8 beats crossed, and you could repeat that, and you'd have quite a dance going. She also recommended just like a wake up. Students could interpret what it means to turn off their alarm to 8 beats, to stretch for 8 beats, to brush their teeth for 8 beats, and to run to school for 8 beats. And do this with 1 set of music, and then do it with a very different, like a very slow music or very fast music, to emphasize how we respond differently to different musics. And again, in the National Ballet School, they listed the benefits of participating in dance, and again, you can read those, but they're all important. And if you wanted some more resources from the National Ballet School, these websites will help you access that. One activity that I love doing and is useful as review for any one of your courses is a true-false tag. So basically, one side is true, one side is false. We pose a question, and if the answer is true, that person runs back behind a line. The false person tries to tag them. If it's false, the false person tries to run behind their line, and the true person tries to tag them. Here goes. I should also add that there's a full description of each.
So basically this game, instead of odds and evens, if the answer's true, then this side on the right is running behind the white line. If the answer's odd, then is false rather, then you're going that way. So if I said 1 + 1 is 2, that would be true, you would go that way. If I said 1 + 1 is 3, then you would go that way, and because that would be false, right? So if the answer's true, you go this way. If the answer's false, you go that way. All right, so here goes. 1 + 4 is 5. I think 1 + 4 is 5 is true. Complicated math. Here we go. All right, another one. 3 plus 3 is 6.
There's some people at the end saying they had a hard
Okay.
time hearing.
All right. All right. Thanks. And one more. 3 plus 1 is 5.
And again, we could use that for any discipline. I've used it in numeracy in this case. We could do a true false in science, even as high up as, biology grade 12. As long as it's kind of true false statements, the activity will work. You could do a review of a story with different characters or events that happened and making true false questions as a way to review the material that you just studied. Let's take a look at numeracy here for the next few slides. In the Fair and Square resource from Sarah Ontario, like one of their activities, and they've got a number of them that work well for numeracy, higher or lower guess by the leader. So the leader stands facing the group. One player stands behind the leader with the page with a number between 1 and 100. The leader starts jogging on the spot and takes a guess at a number. So it says 40. But if the guess is too high, the group does jumping jacks or some other predetermined activity. And the leader then knows that the guess was 40 was too high. So it's below 40. So the number, and so the leader keeps jogging, the group keeps doing jumping jacks, and then the leader says 10. But if that number is too low, then the group does squats or some other predetermined activity. So the leader knows that it's between 10 and 40, and the leader keeps guessing a number until they get the number correct that the student behind the leader has. Even an odd with the wall sit and run. It's also a really great warm-up. Basically, the even is leaning, sitting, doing a wall sit, odd is facing, and well, the video will explain it.
All right, here's this little number thing. They're doing a wall sit, and is the even person doing a wall sit? Odd person is facing. They both throw out a number. If it adds up to even, then the even person goes for a run and the other person does a wall sit. If it's odd, the other person goes for a run.
So both students being active and just using some simple math. This is simple math, but adding it quickly. So basically the leader's gonna put out 2 cards, and the first group that answers it, first person that answers it correctly picks up an object, brings it back to their group, and then they would spell a word. This was at a French conference, so they'll be using French words.
Over 2 numbers, whoever adds it correctly first will take one of those back. And they're trying to spell the word plus, P-L-U-S, French for add. Over
just a fun active game. Odd even tag could have done just in a even in a classroom here, just going odd even and trying to tag the other player's ankle if it's their number.
It's a quick adding game, odds and evens. One player is odd, one player is even. They roll the dice, and if the number adds up to odd, the odd person moves away and the even tries to tag his ankles. If the number is even, the even person tries to move his ankles and the odd person tries to tag it. If you're tagged when your number is called, you just stand up and sit down. If you miss tagging the person, then you stand up. Easily done in a classroom as well.
And so the activity is just simply standing up, but you can also make it some other activity that the person does. Ding Dong 7, players in a circle. Anytime, so we're going, calling out the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. When it gets to 7 or a multiple of 7, they would go ding, and then it means it goes the opposite way again. And then when there's a number 7 or a multiple of 7, we go dong, and it goes the opposite way again. You could have people just running on the spot to make it more active as well, or just walking on the spot.
Okay, ding dong. So when it gets to 7, we'll go dong. When it's a multiple of 7 or a 7, we'll switch it, either ding or dong.
So you get the idea. But again, to make it a little more active, you could have them walking or jogging on the spot. 21 pilots, basically it's the same circle kind of game, except the calling keeps going in the same order. But we would pick a number between 2 and 9. At any time that number happened, or there was a multiple of that number, we would, the player would do an exercise and continue doing the exercise. The group can be walking on the spot or do some other activity. And basically, I don't have a video of this one, sorry. So it might say the number was 5. We might just go, first person would go 1, second person would go 2, 3, 4. Then they would do jumping jacks, and then 6, 7, 8, 9 person does jumping jacks, 11, 12. When we get to 21, 21 pilots, we made it. Then we might add a second number. So maybe we're going to say it's 4. And when it's a 4 or multiple of 4, we do lunges. So it'd go 1, 2, 3. Then the person that has 4 would do a lunge. Person has 5 does jumping jacks. The next person does 6, 7 lunge, 9 jumping jacks, and getting that pattern going. So just a simple way for counting. This is trying to find patterns. So paint palette relay. We've got 6 different colors. Each leader has a different sequence, and the group is trying to figure out what the pattern is.
So this is paint palette. They're trying to get the colors all in the right spot. If it's correct, it's a thumbs up. If it's on the wrong side, it'll point to the other side. So this one is on the right side, but the wrong one. It's on the right side, but needs to be moved over. Perfect. And it's on the wrong side.
So just trying to get the sequencing. This is a tag and add, or multiply, divide, subtract, plus or minus. Basically, we play a game of tag here. And when you get tagged, both players would have playing cards, say 2 or 3 playing cards each. They would take a card from the other person, hold it up, and add. And then whoever gets the answer first is not it. And we could do this by adding. We could do a multiplication. We could do dividing. That gets a little bit more complicated, and then subtracting, but the number needs to be positive or the number needs to be negative. So if you had a 4 and a 2, if it needed to be positive, 4 minus 2 is 2. If it needed to be negative, it would be 2 minus 4 would be minus 2. So again, just regular tag games, but there's a numeric component to it where we need to do a math skill. Squared off is again more of a pattern game. We're trying to build squares with these rubber bars. If you didn't have rubber bars, obviously you could use construction paper of 2 different colors. So we'll have one team being red on one side and the other, and then blue on the other side. And the leader needs to call off who goes next.
Red, blue, red, blue, red.
And they're trying to build this. So basically, they're trying to build as many squares as they can. So with 4 blues, for example, here, this would be counted as 1 square. This would be 1 square per red, and they try to build it up that way. And then we do, oops, sorry. And then we do a beanbag toss.
Okay, red.
Whoops, sorry. I'm sorry, I'll get it there. Squared up.
Okay, red. So red just throws.
Okay, so basically what we're going to do now is toss the bean bags in, and if you landed in a square with, so red wants to land it in this square where there was a blue, so they could flip the blue, and then it becomes their square. So it's a little bit of a target game as well. Connecting 4. So again, just trying to get 4 in a row, either with an upright device like this. Oops, come on, there we go. So
In this game, we're connecting 4. So we're going to get 4 yellows or 4 reds that are going to go horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. 2 teams are going to go. They just go at their own speed and they try to get 4 in a row. This team over here is going to play the same game except on the ground. So the bottom of the mat is always the bottom. If you put anything a little bit higher than that, pretend it slides down the same way as it would on the Connect 4. So let's give this a little whirl and we'll see how we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, red's almost got 4 in a row. Nice save, nice save.
Okay, and you get the idea there. They're trying to get a pattern of 4 in a row. This would be Connect 4 up, which is what the other team was doing as well. So you can see here, I'll just advance it a bit. When there's something on top, so basically kind of assume that it would slide down if it was sliding. What they do in here. Oh, red almost had 4 in a row. Whoa, 4 for red. We got a win. This is connecting 5 in a row, but we've got 4 different teams. So one team coming this way, one team coming this way, one team, and we're using cones here. When all the cones are used, you could take a cone, let's just say if we're doing 4 in a row, you could pick this one up here and drop it on top, and you would have 4 in a row. But you can only do that once all of them are down again. Just need to kind of keep going. Active checkers, you can play on this big board, just running back and forth, or just even using a checkerboard and not waiting for your turn, but just simply running back to a start line, running forward, making your play, running back to the start line, making your play, or doing a relay form where you have 2 or 3 players. This is a number sequence. We've used these little spots here, but you could use a playing card just as easily, but you want to get the orders to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can only move it up or down or sideways. And if you had groups going, they'd all have to start off with the same irregular pattern that they would.
So they're sliding 1 slide at a time, trying to get them in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 4, 5 in the right spot, and not 3, 2, 1 yet.
Okay, you get the idea. Is eventually they would get it in order. Human tic-tac-toe, basically, and we can have 9 squares like this, or we can have 9 spots that we would use, and we'll have 3 players starting behind the start line. 1 player runs up, stands on the spot or in the middle of the square here. One would have an O, the other team would have an X, hand stretched out. I think you could also do it where when you're standing, instead of hands stretched out, it'd be doing jumping jacks. The O's would be doing jumping jacks, but going into O positions rather than arms stretched out. So here we're doing it in a smaller space, so we're just going heel toe to get a little bit more activity. We also added the little object so the next person would know when.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Human tic-tac-toe. They're going heel toe, heel toe, heel toe to a spot. X and O. As soon as that person's got it, there they go. Oh, they got that one. Now they're running back. Yeah, you gotta start back.
This is an important. Oh, wait, what?
You went there.
Oh, I gotta get here.
And they keep going until they get three in a row. Top of tubes are just a really great piece of equipment. This is from Go for Sport, one of their innovative products. And there's a number of different things you can do with this. You could also, in a lot of the different activities that I'm showing in this section, you could also use plastic cups or with numbers written on the bottom of the cups. So this is how I would number them, 1 to 48. And also number them, or what is this? Not octagonal, 6-sided. Number it like dice. So 1, 6, 5, 2, 3, 4. Numbers, opposite numbers, always adding up to 7. So in this first activity, they're just basically focused on inhibitory control, trying to knock it down, see which team can knock it down in order, say 10 times, 20 times, whoever's the first to do that. The second part, we're going to be working on working memory. And we knock the pin over, and there's number 2 on top, and be the first team that's over 50. So we're doing math, adding math skills to this activity. And then finally, we're going to be doing some cognitive flexibility, where we knock the pin over, and the number has to be exactly a certain number. So let's just say 40. And so if the number is below 40, we keep adding. But if we go above 40, the next time we need to subtract. So just some examples there. Now this is toppling a specific number. And again, we could use playing cards or plastic cups to make it work as well. And we're trying to, if you give a range, it's a little easier. If it's a very specific number, it's going to take a little longer. So we might say number 66 to 68. And they need to keep bringing back until they get like that within that range. If they pick up an object, top of tube that's higher than that, they need to bring something back and pull another one in. So here goes.
Each team is trying to get a total for their score for 30 to 35. They're at 29. They're at 49, 39, so they need to take one back. Oh, we got a winner already. All right. Well,
so they're trying to get a specific number. Again, if you give a range, it'll go quicker. And if you don't, now in this case, they're going to be picking a sequence. So one group might be 1 to 4, another group might be 5 to 8. They need to get, as a group 5 to 8, they need to get 5 first, and then 6, and then 7, and then 8. So let's just say this person picks this one up and it's an 8. They need to put it back, but remember where it is. So when they get the 5, 6, and 7, they can go and get the number 8. So just getting sequences. Tic-tac-toe, no grid. Again, just dealing with patterns. Let me just explain that just quickly.
Tic-tac-toe,
just do a little
no grid.
demonstration. So let's just say blue goes down, and then red goes here. Now it's blue's turn. So blue can go kind of anywhere as long as it's got a 3 by 3. So let's just say blue goes here, and then let's just say red goes here, and maybe blue will protect it. We'll go there. Red maybe goes here. Now it's, sorry, this one's out of the way. Now it's blue's turn. So blue could go here, and would win because you got 3 in a row. So as long as you got 3 by 3, blue couldn't go here because now it's not 3 by 3 anymore, it's 4 by 3.
So that's playing tic-tac-toe with objects. We could play that game, getting those patterns going here while being in a push-up position, so developing some fitness. You could do it in a relay. So we would be running to a spot with 2 or 3 players. You can also go to literacy on the flip side of the couple cubes, or you could also use, again, plastic cups, create a word relay. And I've showed you how, here's the numbers that I use for 48. So you had 48 cups, for example. I'd have 4 A's, 1 B, 1 C, 2 D's, 6 E's. The J's were 3 points, Queen QW is worth 5 points. And it's a kind of a quick Scrabble game. So basically, they're trying to create words that are all connected. Once they're all connected, you would say go, and you would pick up another topple tube. This video is just a little longer, and it's not gonna, oh, there we go. And once again, the full description again is at the hyperlink below each title, so you can get a full. This is like a speed word game, so they're trying to build words. Come on. And they get another one, and as soon as they can build that into a word, then they can both teams have to get an extra letter. There we go. And they go and get another one. Continues until come on, there we go. Until all points, most of them are worth 1, but X is worth up. And then you could count up the points. And nutrition, balanced plate. Here's some instructions for it. But basically what we're trying to do here is to get 1 object from each four food groups. You could just simply cut the Canada's Food Guide into 4 pieces to get the 4 parts. You could do this with other things too. If you're looking at the parts of the canoe, you could cut off different parts of the canoe and have to build the canoe, whatever it would be. They're trying to get a balanced food plate here: 1 fruit, 1 vegetable, 1 protein, and 1 grain. 3, 2, 1, go. Quite enough, so I'll just add another item here. We got nothing. So basically, they're just trying to build it up that way. So gathering balanced meals from the farm. Again, you would, with a bigger class, you would have the 4 corners of the farm, and players would go from, let's just say, if you think about it, it's home plate in baseball. They would play rock, paper, scissors. If they win, they go to first base, and then they go to second base, and then they go to third base, and then before they go home, they would pick up an object, and the team is trying to gather a whole meal. If you're playing rock, paper, scissors, and you lose, you just stay where you are. So here, I just had smaller space here, so we're just going 3, 2, 1, go. All right, way to go. You can anybody, you can pick anybody. Picking up an object and so a little rock, paper, scissors. If they win, they come to this side, they wait for somebody else to join them. And they play. If they lose, they stay where they are. If they win, they go back. If you go back, they get a food group. They try to get the 4 food groups onto their plate and continue on. And then a food run basically is running without getting tagged. And if they're successful in running across and not getting tagged, they can pick up a food item. So they're trying not to get tagged. If they get tagged, they're going to go back to the beginning. If they make it all the way across, they can grab a food item and take it back. And they want to get their 4 food groups. And then rock, paper, scissors for a balanced meal or 2. So we're outside of a circle here, playing rock, paper, scissors with people. If we win, we go to the center, grab a food group. Each person or team is trying to get a meal for their team as well. So just some of the equipment that we use for this. Scavenger hunt, so building in physical activity, but also geography in terms of getting to know the neighborhood. There's lots of leadership games too. that could be done in a physical education setting to teach leadership. Here we're trying to take the little balls, carry them, and dump them into the other.
Okay, here they're carrying the bucket full of little balls, and they gotta tip the bucket so that it goes into there.
That's right. So they're gonna go underneath. They gotta go to the top.
And they have to hold the ends of the ropes.
And they're physically distant. So they're sort of. This is somewhat similar. They're carrying and dropping a beanbag with a Velcro on it. The cooperative writing, so similar to what we just did here, but now we're going to do cooperative writing. So with this item, they're making a triangle or a square, or there might be a word that we're spelling. And again, it's just leadership things in terms of what's the top, what's the bottom, and how to do it. A cooperative maze. Group tries to get a ball to roll around the pattern, the trail that's set up for it on the map.
Okay, they're going to run the ball along the path. Don't want it to go off. Don't want it to go in the hole. Don't want it to get stuck on the Velcros. Trying to follow the path.
You get the idea there. Oops. Sorry, there we go. A little game of architect, just using 5 clothes pegs. One person develops a little, puts the 5 clothes pegs together in a certain pattern, tries to tell the other person what their pattern is and have them build it without actually seeing it. Simon Says, kind of a nice physical activity thing you could do in a classroom. But basically, if you do something that Simon doesn't say, you go to this side and the other way. Simon Says can be done differently. You could also do Simon Says previous. So I might say Simon Says walk and nobody does anything, but then Simon Says do jumping jacks and people would do walking because they're doing the previous one. So just working on memory more, and then doing opposite. So I might say Simon Says touch the top of your head and you need to touch your chin. Or Simon Says touch your back, you would touch your tummy. These needs a little bit more cognitive flexibility. I'm not going to do yin yang yu here, but I'll just encourage you to take a look at it just for sake of our time here. Sorry. Head and shoulders. Again, just little rhymes that we could do. So head and shoulders, or we could just do it slowly so that everybody stays with us. Then we can do it a little quicker. So head and shoulders, knees and toes, head and shoulders, knees and toes. We can do it faster. And then lastly, doing something in reverse order. So again, just getting these little rhymes going. And so this would be shoulders, head, toes and knees, toes and knees, toes and knees, shoulders, head, toes and knees, nose, mouth, ear, and eye. So I know I had a little trouble when I did the little demo here, but it's just keeping these little nursery rhymes that we do in grade 1, 2, and 3, and working them through in fun order. Active furniture is also just a great way of building physical activity within the classroom setting. And so this is a little swidget. Actually, I've got one at my desk right now, so I always have my feet on these, and just swing back, forward and back.
This go for squidget for people who just have itchy bodies and legs that want to just move a little bit. This goes under. Gopher also has these emoji pillows that we can use in different places. It's just good for flexibility to be sitting on the ground rather than really fun
sitting in chairs.
Pillows for students.
And we could also talk about the different emotions
in a more active, free-flowing classroom, and also with the emotions on the pillows, an opportunity to talk about our own emotions and how we deal with them.
This is a core wobble chair. And this is a core adjustable chair. So the same, it just has a nice little spring and bounce to it, and you can adjust the height.
This is a great chair, one of my favorites, because it has a little rocking capacity. It's also a little cushion, so it actually bounces up and down, so it has a little bit of spring. And it's versatile, because you can lift that little bar under the seat, and it'll go higher or go lower to get the perfect height.
These are some ergo chairs.
It's just a great little wobble chair for anybody who wants to just wobble just a little bit while they're working. Works great.
Shifted seat, just nice for sitting in and reading on. This rocker is super comfortable, and just a great place to just hang out and read. And again, you can just move forward and backward a little bit.
Love
as
this
you're
chair. It's just
rocking motion.
super comfy, and it's just nice for students who just want to rock a little bit. Nice place to read a little book.
And then this comes, the saddle desk is a complete desk where it moves, but you've got your desk and your chair all together in one little spot. So again, for the students who are restless, these are just great opportunities to allow them to move. And then the last one here is this tilted chair that also works. I was at a conference and Tim Scott shared a number of ideas. I won't have time now to go through them. This is Soup RMN. Students would try to figure that out through a movement. It's got little videos where you're trying to knock over a cup and then go higher and higher. This one, tossing an object into the air and catching it in a cup on your head. If you go to this Google Drive, which Tim made available at the Ontario Physical Literacy Summit 2021, he explains a number of these different activities. I think you'd find going to his folder would be super helpful in terms of ideas. Let me just remind you that on my website, there's over 800 game documents with 350 game videos. Go for Sport, lots of great equipment. The great thing about Go for Sport is that the equipment is really dependable. If you've got a ball, a foam ball or something, the cover comes off before you think it should, just give us a call. We'll replace it or give you your money back. It's not a lifetime guarantee, it's just a satisfaction guarantee. On Pinterest, I've got over 800 pins, 24 boards. You can follow me there and get ideas. YouTube, I've got over 500 videos, and as I post new videos, you can be the first to see them at Canada Go for Sport. Again, Twitter and Instagram, Tuesdays and Thursdays, sometimes some other days I post at Canada Go for Sport. If you have any questions or comments, just feel free to email me at johnbile50@gmail.com. And just thanks for listening in. And I hope the ideas are helpful. You have an important job of creating, or of helping students be physically and mentally healthy. And so blessings on that. Hopefully next time we do this, we can do it face to face. And again, just go to my website and then go to workshops and you can download the entire PowerPoint. So yeah, once again, so thank you very much. At least we can see each other a little bit face to face. And blessings in your important work with students, and not only teaching physical education, but doing some cross-curricular things that will be helpful for students.